Well, first off, my name is Joshua Heston. I am editor-in-chief of State of the Ozarks. And this interview and these interview questions were developed in consortium among Liberty Lectures, Branson U, and the public. And we are here filming at the Hughes Brothers studio. And right off, I'd like to welcome our candidate for Alderman, Ward 3, Ruth Denham. Ruth, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, and thank you to the Hughes family for opening up their theater for this.
Isn't it great?
Yes,
I love this space. And going over your bio, I learned all sorts of cool stuff about you, Ruth. You are retired from a career of local government service with an emphasis on planning. Is that right?
That's correct.
And you and your husband, Brian, have been married for 42 years.
Yes.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. My best friend.
And together, you and Brian have 3 children, Brianne, Leah, and Trevor, 5 grandchildren, and all have graduated from or are involved in the Branson or Hollister schools.
Yes.
And you and Brian have lived here in Branson for 25 years.
Yes.
Now you earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Management, and you worked as Director of Human Resources / Deputy County Clerk for Taney County from 2014 to 2019. Your prior work includes Assistant Director of Planning and Development, City of Weatherford, Texas, from 2008 to 2012. Assistant / Interim Director of Planning and Development for the City of Branson from 1996 to 2009. And also Deputy City Clerk of Apple Valley, California, from 1991 to 1994. You currently attend Bloom Christian Church, and you enjoy getting outdoors, travel, reading, and spending time with family and friends.
I do.
So, jumping right into this, how do you see Branson in 5 years?
I see Branson booming in 5 years, and with the right leadership, can move forward. Mm-hmm. I'd love to see businesses open up again. I'd love to see tourists come and enjoy this beautiful area. We have so much to offer here, and I'm excited to be a part of the growth again.
So why did you decide to become involved in politics? Obviously, you've been part of city government, but why did you decide to become involved in this way?
This has always been my desire. I love being a public servant. I love the citizens. I love the businesses in this area. I just want to continue on what I have always done. And I'm looking forward to becoming alderman and serving the citizens.
So what led you to run in this race?
This is an extremely important race. We are at a turning point right now. I feel we are at a huge turning point right now. And if we do not do something to open up our city so that businesses can flourish and we can operate as we always have, this city will die. It is dying right now, and I hate to see that. So I'm just encouraged about helping to grow, move forward. That's why I'm in this race right now.
Mm-hmm. What, as future policymaker, what is your number one priority for our Branson residents?
Listening to them. Citizens are first. Citizens should be first. They have been left out of the equation for far too long. They have been shunned at meetings. Their voice really matters. And I'm looking forward to being able to work with the citizens one-on-one. I want phone calls. I want emails. I want however they want to get a hold of me. I just want to be able to know what's going on, know how they feel. Because we cannot govern a city without the input of our citizens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Over the last year, we have all witnessed an increase of division here in our community. How would you address that?
Well, I've noticed that too. There's huge division, and I don't think it was something I started by the citizens, because it's this place. Branson has always been the most welcoming area. When I moved here from California. It was a difficult move, but the business owners here, the citizens, they have a unique way of welcoming people to their city and to serve. They serve each other, and somehow in the mix that got lost. And so I'm hoping to bring unity by listening to them.
Yeah.
I think that's a problem that's going to solve itself once they know that they're appreciated, once the citizens know they're appreciated.
So give us an example of a past crisis that you've experienced, and how did you handle that situation?
Okay. Past crises as far as my career working for a city, sometimes you're asked to do something that it's not the right choice. And you just always choose to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. If there are ordinances to go by, you go by the ordinance. But you always try to find a way to help that person get their project on the road, to move forward. You just find a way. Instead of allowing it to be a crisis, you allow it to be an opportunity. So you find a way that you can assist. When one person grows, one business grows, more tourists come. It's just a big cycle here. This is a unique area.
It really is. So historically speaking, citizens who gain a position of power sometimes really are tempted to compromise their beliefs or assume a double standard under pressure. How would you personally respond if you found yourself in that scenario?
As far as ethics go, yes, as a candidate, you go through the process, filling out your paperwork. Missouri Ethics Commission, yes, they have requirements that they set forth for you, but there's quid pro quo, use of the public funds. I think it goes deeper than that. They don't even mention nepotism in their guidelines, because that's actually something that falls under the Missouri Constitution. And so they obviously thought it was pretty important. I see it as integrity, right and wrong behavior, biblical principles. To me, it's common sense to make those kind of decisions, because you are going to have decisions, but you have to consider, you have to answer for those decisions, and are they right in your heart, and are they right with God? I do base my decisions on biblical principles.
What is the distinction between setting policy by city administration and setting policy by city council?
There's two responsibilities for the Board of Aldermen. You're either going to make legislative decisions where you're actually writing law. Administrative is enforcing the policies that are already created. So those are the two distinct responsibilities for an alderman.
Okay. From your background or your observation, are there some situations where those roles could be done well versus being done poorly, or what do you think about that?
I think yes. Some policies, they fall under state statute. So we need to follow those guidelines. We have no other choice but to, and if we don't, we're not making the right choice. Other policies, ordinances, they were meant to be amended. It's not, a city doesn't stay the same, people don't stay the same forever. So amendments need to be made. And so when you get a lot of complaints from the citizens, complaints from departments, you see that there's a lot of disagreement in a meeting, it kind of gives you a heads up. Well, maybe we need to relook at this ordinance and see if we need to make some amendments or just not have this ordinance. That type of thing.
Yeah. How do you plan to move forward in the community for combating our local drug problem?
Drugs are a huge issue. Not every person out there that uses drugs wants to be a drug addict. I have strong feelings about the drugs in this area. Drugs and crime go hand in hand, but it is a vicious cycle. It is a cycle to where a drug user or addict commits a crime.
Mm-hmm.
They get arrested. They're incarcerated. They're released, and they go back into the system of crime.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's written documents of this is what you do, this is what you don't do, these are the rules to follow.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not. I don't think as a community, not just Branson, but Branson, Hollister, our community, I don't think that we're all working together enough.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one thing I would do as Alderman. I would reach out to different communities, different professionals, different counselors to actually help someone that wants help, because that's not being provided right now. I think another problem that we have are these homes, or they used to have to get a special use permit, but then they were fell under protection, and so addicts are put into the same houses with other addicts. They could be 4 to a room in a 4-bedroom house, 16 people that are addicts that are not separated. They have a person that runs the house, and this is my knowledge, and if I'm wrong, I hope someone lets me know. No, we're actually fixing this, but it's very expensive, $150 a week to stay in those homes. And the only requirement that I'm aware of is that a recovered addict has to be recovered for a year, oversees the house, and takes in the money. That and when someone's been incarcerated, they have structure. And to come out and put that person in an environment like that is difficult. So I would do my best to reach out and work with anyone who wants to be working together with us. We don't live in a bubble. We live in a community, and we need to take care of each other and take care of crises that we're all encountering right now.
So according to a November 12th, 2019 article on KY3, quote, the city is $170 million in debt. What is your thoughts or plan in that regard?
That's a lot of money. That's a huge amount of money. A thorough review of the city's spending is in order. A thorough review. I will work with the board and the mayor to reverse this waste of taxpayers' dollars. There's obviously a waste. I have heard that there's not a problem with the revenue. There's a huge problem with expenditures. So we ask why? Why are we in this much debt? Why are we spending what we don't have? Are we overspending on wants or needs? I mean, there needs to be a direct connection to where we're spending our money. This needs to stop. That's just it. It needs to stop. Revenues are going to increase by Branson's businesses being open to full capacity. And that needs to take place. That will make a huge impact with our income and lowering our irresponsible spending.
So I have a bunch of statistics from Christian Action Ministries.
Okay.
Or CAM. You know CAM. These are from January of 2019. And I'm just jumping into it. In 2005, there were 2 motels with extended stay. In 2019, that number had gone over 40. Also in 2019, we had over 2,000 Branson residents living in those extended stay motels, 500 of which were children. In 2009, CAM, through their food pantries, documented having served 11,000 individuals over the course of 12 months. In 2018, 9 years later, that number had jumped from 11,000 up to 62,000 served within the year. In 2019, again, the area poverty rate was listed at 17.8% for our area. But then Executive Director Elizabeth Hughes stated She believed that rate to be much higher because the census data for the poverty rate of 17.8% did not include any of the weekly motels. What are your thoughts about these sorts of needs within our community?
Those are very sad numbers, very sad numbers. These are all people that are doing without most of the time. So many things come into play. I know that there's organizations like CAM, which is a great organization, other organizations that do reach out and try to provide food, to try to get hands-on conversations going, to find out what are the needs. Is it a job? Is it transportation? So many things come into play.
Yeah.
That's why this is much bigger than staying in that bubble. I mean, we need to reach out because all these things can go hand in hand. The homelessness, the hunger, the addictions. It's just a vicious cycle, and we need to work with others. We need to join working with others. I don't see that taking place right now, and that's something I would reach out to do so that it can take place.
Yeah. Talking about these issues of poverty, what is your opinion of the homeless camps in the immediate Branson area?
That can be detrimental to both the residents and to the people living in those camps. The crime's not going to be reported a lot because the people living in those areas aren't going to want to have officers come out to their location.
Right.
It definitely needs to be cleaned up. I know that there's a lot of properties, vacant properties, that they have owners. Those properties have owners.
Right.
Are the owners even aware? Sometimes they're out of state. Are the owners even aware that people are living on their property? A lot of drug use takes place there, but a lot of homeless people are in there too that could be getting some help.
Yeah.
I've often thought, and I just thought, what if I was a property owner and I lived in another state and I had property here and I wasn't aware that was going on? I would want to be made aware.
Yeah.
This is a situation. And is there availability to clear some of that property so that can't take place, and so people can actually be reached?
Yeah.
Like, not to just go in and arrest, but to go in and to help.
Yeah, which is a big difference. So we have programs such as the J-1 visa program and at least one other program that bring workers into Branson.
Yes.
How do programs like this impact our community?
It has the possibility of taking jobs away from local residents. But then I hear there's a lack of applicants in the area. So that is kind of a catch-22 situation. I mean, I'm glad for the employees that are being brought in, but are we really reaching out to the community for those who need a job and that are willing to work? And is there training available for people that are willing to work? But, I know that classes are offered at Elevate Branson, that's a great program, and actually have business owners that reach out to hire people that go through the program. That's amazing, but it needs to grow. That needs to grow a lot bigger, and that type of a training needs to grow a lot bigger, so that people do have the opportunity to work.
Yeah.
Most people want to work. Most people want to have a paycheck and be proud of what they do during the day, and be proud of the groceries that they can buy, or the car they can buy, or, putting a roof over their head. Those are kind of essentials.
Yes, they are. They are. And in furthering that, Branson is a largely seasonal economy.
Yes.
Should this be addressed as we move forward? And if so, how?
The good thing about what Branson has been through is it has opened eyes of our residents. And I believe when the unconstitutional mandates that have been placed upon these businesses are lifted, people are I think they're going to value
Mm-hmm.
having a job.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to, I think people, because they have had to work as a community to help each other.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we did at the beginning of this crisis.
Yes.
Nobody knew.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody reached out. Everybody wanted to help each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's
They
who
did.
we are.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, a lot of time has gone in between. A lot of division has taken place, which is horrible. But I think that the community will come together and they will see how important it is to have a job, how important it is to just work together, because they have gone through this horrible time and it's time to come out. So
Yeah, and it's been incredibly difficult.
yes, it has.
The last 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot believe it's been
Unnecessarily difficult.
Yeah. It's been a trip, to say the least. The continuation of Branson's tourism tax is on the ballot this April. What is your opinion of this tax?
We need the tax dollars,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a continuation of what we had. But will the continuation of irresponsible spending
Mm-hmm.
still be involved? I think that is a huge portion of it. They say that 80% of the tax that comes in is from tourists, and the other 20% is from city residents.
Mm-hmm.
And 75% of that money is spent on infrastructure,
Mm-hmm.
and 25% on tourism.
Mm-hmm.
I think the tourism dollars could be spent more wisely.
Mm-hmm. And when you say spend on tourism, is it primarily
Advertising,
okay.
marketing. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah. I feel that a better job could take place with marketing this area, marketing this specific area.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot to offer, and there are a lot of businesses. I mean, we've got theaters, we've got hotels, we've got restaurants, we've got an octopus, we got an aquarium, we've got so many things to offer. We've got
Mhm.
trails, we've got lakes, we've got we need to advertise our businesses better, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
We need to market them. We need to market our businesses as free and open and welcoming our tourists to the area.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of goes back to the infrastructure as well. What do the tourists see when they come here?
Mm-hmm.
We need to go back to old Branson is what we need to do, and build it bigger and better and move forward.
So what is your understanding of the perception of Branson worldwide, and should that perception be changed in any way?
Yes, it should be changed. That's my very strong, humble opinion. Yes, it should be changed. People in California would call me, oh, I saw Branson on the news today, and boy, you guys have a lot of things to do. I have family in different states, as many of us do. A lot of us are from out of state. But it was exciting. My parents would come to visit all the time. My dad's, he was a veteran, very proud of it, and could not believe how he was honored at the theaters when we went out. We had a mayor when I first started at City of Branson, Mayor Schaefer. Mayor Schaefer cared about the employees, deeply cared about the employees. I don't care what you did, what your position was, how you served, how long you'd been there. When he saw you in public, he knew your name, and he introduced himself to whoever you were with and made people feel welcome. We need to make people feel welcome here. That most people that live here, that's their heart.
Mm-hmm.
They love their businesses. They love what they do. They want tourists to come. We need to get back to that place again about respecting our visitors and welcoming them, and to where they want to come back.
So what is the cultural identity of Branson?
Unique, wonderful, amazing people. the other night when I was at the mayoral forum, um, it it bothered me to hear, I don't like this in a person, and I don't like that in a person, and it's like we are a mix. We are a mix of so many different God-given gifts of how we operate, and that needs to be appreciated and respected. Not everything's gonna, not everybody's gonna like what someone else does, but that's what someone else does. That is their business. That's their life. That's their career. That's what they do to put food on their table. And they go out, they work an honest day, and they each need to be respected. Some speak louder than others. Some are more open, some are closed, but we love each other in this area, and I want to see that open up again.
Mm-hmm. How would you define Ozark's culture?
Ozark's culture. Family, community, help in a time of need, celebrate together, mourn together. It's a togetherness. There is no name for the Ozark. I mean, it's just, it's amazingly unique. When people come here to visit, they're like, I didn't know people were like that. They take time for each other.
Yeah. And do you think that this kind of cultural identity is important?
Very important. We don't have this. What are visitors coming to visit?
Mm-hmm. What do you see as some ways to help us retain cultural identity here?
The government needs. They have far overreached into private businesses. Let businesses compete. Let businesses be who they are. No business starts and says, "Oh, I want to fail today."
Very true.
And because it is so unique, they're all going to have a different offering.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like when the Branson Landing project came through, I know that there were a lot of people happy, a lot of people not happy. But I always thought downtown's amazing. You don't find downtowns like that, like we have here in Branson. Why don't we make it a day event to where people can shop at both places? Why don't we have different offerings and join these two together so that they can bring they can succeed together. Mm-hmm. They are different, but so is Branson. So it is just unique. You got to figure out positive ways to encourage growth and think out of that box. We're just not. We can't live in a bubble.
No. What? And of course, we're kind of getting to our closing here, and these are very open-ended questions to really play with. But what policies do you see implementing in the first year of your term? What is important to you?
Unpolicies. Unpolicies are important to me. There's been some ordinances. I mean, let's just talk about the white elephant in the room right now. The big white elephant in the room. But this mask mandate has caused so much division. It breaks my heart. If someone wants to wear a mask, that's a decision that they should make for themselves, should make that decision with their physician, whatever someone needs to do. But people that are well, they're not sick, they don't need to wear a mask. And a virus is not contained in a mask. The government has stepped in too much into private business. The government's role is to protect the citizens' constitutional rights and to keep the citizens safe. That's their role. Provides infrastructure services to the citizens, and listen to the citizens, and that's not taking place right now. So definitely, there is going to be a tie. That's probably one of the first ordinances that's going to come up, is to delete the mandate. There's going to be a tie, and the tie vote needs to be to delete that ordinance. Another ordinance that I'm very, very disappointed and uncomfortable with is I don't have the number of the ordinance right now, but Board of Aldermen cannot visit with directors of departments without the city administrator being present. I was in planning and development for my entire time working at the city.
Right.
That's how we solve problems. The citizens in the wards they'd speak with their representatives. Why is this happening with this project? Or, they just had questions. So the department director would be able to speak with the alderman for that ward. You could either say, yes, this portion has not been approved yet. We're just waiting on this. This is a time frame. Or, boy, we didn't know that was going on. Let us do whatever we need to do to help you solve that problem. Problems were solved. They didn't turn into a nightmare. They didn't, they kept them from ending up on the front page of a newspaper. People respected each other. Our code enforcement officer, she did an amazing job, but it's frustrating. That part of code enforcement's not a fun job at times, but it got to the point where we said, let's just send thank yous. Let them know, thank you for coming closer to the requirements. Thank you for working with us. That's what it takes, a thank you and working with the citizens, not putting in these requirements that are going to stifle business, that are going to create even a bigger division between people. We need to get that back, the communication.
So coming back, and I don't know a lot about the second ordinance that you mentioned. When you say folks that the members of the council cannot speak with the department heads, is that correct? The
department heads,
okay.
Yes.
And when you say department head, who is that talking about?
Department director. So department director of planning and development, department director of public works and engineering. Yes. So
currently, just so that I'm clear, and of course so the viewers are clear, the current ordinance prevents the sitting council members from speaking with those department heads.
Yes, they can speak with them, but they need to have the city administrator present.
Okay,
that's my understanding.
Okay.
No, it's not right for an older person to go to an employee in the department. That's what the director's there for. But there should be able to be civil communication between. And, if it gets bigger, yes, bring in the city administrator, or let's just, get a meeting together. Let's discuss this. But the directors are there to make sure that their department's running smoothly. And their hands shouldn't be tied behind their backs. And neither should aldermen's hands be tied behind their backs and interfere with communication that could actually make the situation better. Respect for city government's needed.
Yeah. So, of course, you are actively running for Ward 3.
I am.
Representing all the residents in Ward 3. If you could just speak to all the residents in your ward about voting for you, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, I have very thick skin and I will fight for you. I know that they have not been listened to. I have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. I respect our citizens. I want them to know that their voice matters. Their voice matters in the city they live in. I am unashamedly, I stand up for godly principles. I stand up for our Constitution. There needs to be less government, more citizen, and more business involved. It's important to know that that the board is going to take action based on their input, that they're not wasting their time, and that we love when people think out of the box. How else do we grow? Citizens know what they want, what they need, and they want to feel comfortable knowing that someone is going to represent them and stand up for them because they have been listened to, they have been visited with, they are cared about, they have jobs, they have lives to live, they want to be able to trust. There's a lack of trust. I will bring trust back to that table. I love the people. I just really do. I have a heart for the citizens in Branson, and this isn't a new opportunity I'm just trying to take advantage of. This is a crucial time. This is what I've always done. I love local government. I just really do, because I love the citizens that represent the city of Branson. My goal when I first started my career was I was going to get my CPA. I wanted to work at a local city municipality. But when that opportunity came up, I did not want to take it because I was working in the clerk's office. Being at meetings, hearing this healthy communication, discussions that would take place. We had a liberal attorney on the board, and we had a conservative attorney on the board. I mean, we had such a mix, but they respected each other. Mm-hmm. That is a huge thing. They respected each other. Very different people.
Yeah.
I will definitely bring respect back to the table. What's been taking place at our meetings should never take place. Those kind of conversations should never be put out. I respect the seat. I don't respect the actions that are being taken by some of the people that have been sitting in those seats. The way Alderman Milton has been treated, that won't take place if I'm sitting on that board. And I'm the person for this ward. I really am. I right now is not a time to be learning politics. It is a time to be working with the city to make it a better place, to make it more unified, and to definitely make the citizens more welcome.
Ruth, thank you so very much for being here. We appreciate your time, and good luck in April.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.